everyone, welcome to a very special episode of Jim's Farming. You may have noticed I'm in a bright orange tractor. We have a Kubota on the farm, a Kubota M6132. I'll think about that for a second. 130 horsepower Kubota. It's a brand new range from Kubota. I think it shares quite a lot of similarities to their old MGX range. But yeah, we are drilling with the Kubota. It's very exciting to have a new tractor on the farm. It's been a long time coming. It was supposed to be here in July, I believe. However, we've now had it for about 2 weeks, I think. We've still got a loader and a front linkage to be put on. We were waiting for those for a little while, but they are, as I believe, at the dealership. So as soon as we finish drilling, the 6115R John Deere will be traded in, and we'll have a new loader tractor. So I'm also running on GPS on my Agopengps GPS system that I've made. Had a bit of tweaking and made a new bracket, which is a bit tidier than the one I've previously been using on the other tractor. We got the Lemkin Solitaire 8 on the back, and as you can see, we're putting some nice straight lines in. I've already drilled 2 fields. Well, put in a field of oats. It's about 10-11 acres, and I've drilled the middle of another field of wheat just over the hedge. This is winter wheat we're putting in, a variety called Graham that we grew last year for the first time, that did quite well for us. As you saw, I did have to plough, if you watched my last video that is, ploughed and in front of the drill to get the oats in, because it was still a bit wet, but it has dried out quite nicely now. We're drilling into some ex-oilseed rape ground. It's a little bit of a fiddle to do with one hand. Just gonna have to jump out. I've had a buzzer going off telling me I'm low on seed, so I'll catch up with you shortly. We are going on a decent lick. I'm doing about 6.5k, although I've been going at 8. I did have a go at going a bit quicker. The GPS handles it fine. I just feel we're perhaps doing a bit of a better job, getting a bit of better seed placement. It does bounce around a little bit at that sort of speed. My father is in the field over there with our doddle cultivator. I did jump on that, dropped the drill off and went and ripped the field up over there. Got a bit of footage of that. And then put the drill back on. But now he's in the 6230 with that. We've been over the ground previously with, buzzing me again, with our Spalding's flat lift, just to get rid of any compaction. On the previous fields, there's been quite a bit of traffic from bale trailers, so we've been and pulled that up. And yeah, it's going in very nicely. We've got some of the nicest soil on the farm probably in this field. Dad tells me there are bits of it that are grade 1, so we're quite lucky to have that. So the Kubota, I've got to say, first thoughts, I'm very impressed. We got a shuttle. We got three ranges of 8 gears, which you can bump through with that. I've got a forward and reverse shuttle on the joystick, should I say. can lift the linkage and lower it. We've got 2 programmable speeds, which you can combine with these turn settings, so kind of headland management. I've got it set up so that when I lift it up it'll drop the engine revs down, and equally there's another setting here so it'll shut the PTO off. And that works. That's pretty straightforward to set up. Well, like I say, very simple to set up actually. So we've got a 6.1 litre engine, 4-cylinder, which is quite unusual. It's the same engine that Kubota put in to their larger 7 series. Although I assume it's down rated. I think the biggest one goes up to about 170 horsepower, so it's got plenty of poke in it, and it's got more than enough metal to manage the drill. Our biggest problem with the drill, famous last words, I haven't got the PTO shut off engaged. You might notice that on the screen. So I'm just gonna have to go and get some seed, but yeah, it's our biggest problem with the 6115. I had to shut the fan off to get the drill to lift up, which was a bit of a pain. With this, no problem at all. There's plenty of lift capacity on the back. I believe the back end will lift 7 tons. But yeah, no trouble. What we could do with is the front linkage and the weights on the front linkage, because she is a little bit light on the front. Right, I'll just park up and go and grab some seed. So we're back running again, all loaded up with seed. Oh well, half a bag because of the weight issue. And yeah, what can I say? Nice cab, great visibility out the front, and the panoramic doors give you great visibility out the side, although I've kind of blocked that one off a bit with that tough pad. This runs with GPS. Good visibility out the back. Got a nice view of the implement behind, and also when we're using a bucket, loading lorries and things like that, little sunroof, or well, it doesn't open up, but window in the roof. We've got window mirrors, 2 mirrors, so we can see what's going on down around the wheels, which is pretty good. LED lights all round. We'll probably have a look at those when it goes a bit darker. Aircon, of course. 3 spool valves, that's the only problem, which is being looked at. This one's supposed to detent and stay in position, however it isn't. But the dealership have been out to have a look at that, and I think they can do something about it. In the meantime, I just hook a bungee cord around it, and that seems to work fine. So yeah, all the lights are here. We've got a suspended front axle, which has got various settings. So you can soften the suspension. We've got a sprung cab, so for a bit of a comfier ride. We didn't have that in the John Deere. Yeah, what else? PTO, we've got, it's all on levers. 540 and 1000. I'm currently in 1000, but we've got eco for both as well. Excuse me while I just change direction. We've also got a button here which kind of gives you a allows the front end to swing round. You can see there we've got a bunch of controls and a bunch more dials under there. Yeah, so this little button, once the steering angle hits a certain point, I think there's a clutch or something in the front axle that just allows the front to spin round. It's not really being shown to its full potential at the moment, because we're a little bit light on the front, so it's not really biting in much. Yeah, it's just getting into line. Now just press the down button there. Drop my marker arm. Just a bit of a fail safe just in case the GPS drops out or anything like that. We've got a button here that will put us into automatic, so it'll just run up through the gears. Pretty handy when you're on the road. What else? I'll just switch that off. Auto, four-wheel drive, auto diff, lock the arms, change the height of the arms with that little dial. So we got this screen. It is Isobus ready. There's an Isobus plug on the back. That was an extra that we decided to put on. Really, for this kind of application, we haven't got any implements that use Isobus, but it's really handy having the headland management. I'm not sure I would have been able to do that without the screen. That was a reasonably costly extra. I think it was about 2,000 quid. But if in the future we do happen to get a drill, for example, that runs on Isobus, we're ready to go with that. We also spec'd up the tyres. That was a couple of £100. We got 600s on the back, nice wide tyres, fair bit bigger than what we've got on the 6115. So perfect for drilling and just spreading the weight of the tractor. We'll have to have a look around the outside of the tractor when I've got time. Got quite a beefy back end that I mentioned before. It'll lift 7 tons supposedly. But we've got Power Beyond as standard. We don't have anything that runs on Power Beyond, but it's there for the future really, or if we move it on, it hopefully make the tractor a little bit more desirable. Dad working away with the Dalbo Dinko Classic. Yeah, it's doing a pretty good job here actually. I think he perhaps has got the top linkage a little bit short, just a little bit deeper on the front. Now he's getting to it, he's into the short runs now. So I don't know if you can hear that beeping, it does get quite annoying. So I think that is a bit of a warning that the PTO is engaged and with the headland management, but yeah, it does really get annoying. So here's just to show you my new and improved steering wheel bracket. So this is a clamp that just quite neatly fits around the steering column. This is the shaft that runs down from the steering wheel. It's got rubber jaws, so it's not damaging it at all. I think it's used for kind of mounting lights on gantries and things in theatre productions, that kind of thing. So I've made a little box section bracket which has got a hinge, and that needs tidying up really, but does the job at the moment. And I've got a nylon, I think it's a bush off the baler actually, for tensioning a chain, but I've got a little handle on there, and when I pull the handle it allows the wheel to engage the steering wheel. So quite pleased with my bit of bodged up, thrown together engineering there. Works quite nicely, and then could probably do with a little switch on there to engage it when I drop it in, but I currently got my little switch that I use on the side, so it's a sort of 2-part motion to get the steering engaged, which can be a bit of a faff to be honest when I've got a lot of other buttons and things to press. So another quite nice feature we've got is we've got controls for oil flow from within the cab. Forgot to drop my marker on. So that's pretty good. On the John Deere you could kind of reach out the window, and there were some little adjusters on top of the block, but yeah, it's quite simple. I think all it is a little cable, but yeah, it's a nice little feature to have. I think pretty much the only thing we haven't got on this tractor, actually, extra wise, is a front PTO, which will fit there. Quite another neat feature. Oh, and air. So I think there's an extra, you can have air brakes. It's quite nice to have air on a tractor. You can hook an air line up to it so you can keep the dust blown out of the cab. Pretty good for that. If you get a bit of a soft tyre, you can get that filled up from the compressor. But no, another quite cool feature is this little guy here, that button. So with that, you press that to engage it, and you don't need to use the clutch. You just put your foot on the brake and it will clutch automatically for you and bring you to a stop. So I think that will be quite handy when it comes to using the loader, loading grain, bales, baling as well with the baler when we're stopping and starting all the time. That should hopefully come into its own. Other than that, I think pretty much shown everything, other than the exterior of the tractor. So here she is in the dark, just rising out soils, just stick into the packer. It's not too bad actually, it's no worse than it's been all day. But yeah, there we go, a little bit of a look at the back end. Quite beefy, plenty of access to everything. I think it's everything seems a bit further away from the tractor than on the John Deere. Just got to come and pick the metering wheel up because it sticks out quite a long way. Nice joined up drilling. There she is. So could do with a bit more. I think we've got about 500 kilos in the front. But really and truly it's not quite enough. So that'll do me for the night. Just emptied the hopper of seed. So I think that's as good a time as any to stop. And I made a massive error. And I've let a load of flies in the cab. I'll just let the drill come up a bit higher so you can set the top limit from under the armrest. Let's bring it up a little bit. Set drop speed, engine revs, engine rev limiter, sort of aggressiveness of the automatic gear changes. Is your draft control. Yeah, just leave four-wheel drive on and lock the arms with that one, and I'll go and head back to the farm, which is literally just across the road. Hope you've enjoyed watching this first sneak peek at the Kubota. Gotta say, very happy with it. It's looks like it's going to be a good tractor for us, and hopefully you'll see a little bit more of it, perhaps in the daylight. Things are a little manic, so it's a bit difficult to do too much filming. There we go. If you fancy, give me a like and subscribe to stay up to date with Jim's Farming. Catch you soon.